YouTube. So today I'm coming to you with another bookish challenge video. Jesse from Jesse the Reader recently posted a video called Save One, Drop One, which is based off of this thing that K-pop YouTubers do, where you pick two K-pop stars and you save one and you drop one. And he did it with books, and I thought that was a really good idea, so I'm going to be doing that today. But I'm going to be adding a little twist to it. I will be doing save one, drop one, but I'm also going to be doing rewrite one, which I won't drop because I think it could be better if it was rewritten. So basically in this game, you pick 3 books in my version of it, and you save one, you drop one, and you rewrite one. Pretty self-explanatory. I have 91 books on these 4 shelves, so that's what I'm going to be using. And I'll pick a random number 3 times, and then save one book, drop one book, rewrite one book. So let's get right into it.
75.
The Fever Code. I remember almost nothing about this book. Oh, this will probably be the one I drop. Saints of Nothing by Ribay. Just One Day. Alright, so the 3 books I got is Just One Day by Gayle Forman, Patriots of Nothing by Ribay, and The Fever Code by James Dashner. So right off the bat, I forget reading The Fever Code and I DNF Just One Day. So I'm obviously going to be saving Patriots of Nothing. This is such a good book about Jay, whose cousin gets murdered in the Philippines, and so he goes to the Philippines to figure out his cousin's story and what really happened in the Philippines. He learns a lot about himself, about the Philippines and what's happening there, and it's just a really good story. I was in a reading slump while reading this, so I didn't really enjoy it as much as I could have, but it was still a really, really well-written book, and I loved all the characters. I loved the important messages and how much I learned in this book. It has so many quotable lines. So yeah, I'm going to save this book. I'm going to drop this book because I don't even remember reading it. I don't even remember what I thought about it or anything about it. I'm going to drop it. I might have liked it when I read it. I might have hated it. Either way, I'm going to drop it. And with Just One Day, I'm obviously going to rewrite it. Because with any book that I DNF, it's always because maybe the characters weren't good or the world was good. If I'm picking up a book, that will be because I liked the concept, but it just wasn't executed well. And so obviously I would rewrite a book that I DNF'd, because this book just wasn't interesting, and I feel like if it picked the pace up more, and if I care more about the characters. But yeah, save Patriots of Nothing, drop Fever Code, and rewrite Just One Day. Just One Day is another one of those books that I might just want to wait until college to read, because like Fair Girl, it's one of those books that the relatable aspect is what makes people love it. So maybe I'm just not at the right stage of my life to like it. Why do I keep getting this side? Fahrenheit 451. Yet again this side. Down and across. This is gonna get good. This book again? Wait, I'm stupid. It's 65. 67, 66, 65. A Darker Shade of Magic. Alright, so I picked A Darker Shade of Magic, Down and Across, and Fahrenheit 451. This is gonna be good. Alright, so obviously I'm gonna save A Darker Shade of Magic, one of my favorite books of all time. So good. I've talked so much about this book, and so I'm not gonna talk again about it, but just this book is so good. So then it's between Down and Across and Fahrenheit 451, and I love both of these books. I like both of them equally. So I don't know. Okay. I'm going to drop Fahrenheit 451. No, but I don't want to rewrite Down and Across. But I don't want to drop it either. Out of these 2 books, I like Fahrenheit 451, and I do feel like Down and Across could have been a little better in terms of plot, consistency, and just how the plot functioned, but I mean, it is a debut author. But I'm going to drop Fahrenheit 451, just because out of those 2 books, I feel like Fahrenheit 451 just doesn't have the relatable factor to me, and also I just think I enjoyed it a little bit less, because I feel like Down and Across is a more nuanced narrative, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm going to save A Darker Shade of Magic, obviously. I'm going to drop Fahrenheit 451, and I'm going to rewrite Down and Across by Arvin Ahmadi. I don't know why I just had to say the author's name.
1, 2, 3, 4.
This is a book I haven't read. So now. What was the number again? Lust for Life. Icarella, a prequel to the Maze Runner series. Alright, so we got The Kill Order by James Dashner. I don't know why I keep getting the Maze Runner books. I only remembered the first one. Geekarella and Lust for Life. And right off the bat, I am obviously going to drop the killer for the same reasons I dropped the other one. This is pretty easy. I'm going to save Geekarella. I did a reading vlog for this one, and when I finished it, I was like, this is one of my favorite books of all time. It's so good. But looking back on this book, it's not that good. It's really good. It just isn't one of my favorites of all time. I just think it could have probed a bit deeper than it did, but it was still a really solid story. It has amazing characters. I absolutely love the retelling aspect of this book, and I just think it was a really creative book, and it was written really well. And the world, the society that this main character lived in, I also really enjoyed. And then Lust for Life, I wouldn't have rewritten because it's so well written. I underlined so many things in this book. Basically, it isn't a biography of Vincent van Gogh, but it's a biographical novel. So it basically novelizes his life, and I thought it was a really good book. It was really interesting to learn a lot about art history, about what times were like back then, and the perspective of a struggling artist. And it's also so well written. I loved going through like Vincent van Gogh's journey through life and all he went through and all of the things he was going through. I feel like Irving Stone perfectly captured like the essence of Vincent van Gogh. I don't recommend it enough on my channel. It's really good if you're into this sort of book. I've looked for more biographical novels. There just aren't that many. I'm pretty sure Irving Stone has some other ones that I will have to read. But yeah, I will rewrite this one because it was a bit, I guess I'm just looking for the writing flaws of like these rewrite ones because they're not bad enough to be dropped. But I feel like it was a little bit too descriptive at times and a bit too slow at times. But really, that's just a minor complaint. Please, no more Maze Runner books. I haven't read this book. I haven't read this book either. And girl, I've read this one. This is one, straight up one, and I have not read that one. Simon vs. Homo Sapiens Agenda. I think this was it. Alright, so the number generator gave me The First Land of Stories book, The Wishing Spell by Chris Colfer, Simon vs. Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli, and Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. Right off the bat, you guys probably guessed it, I'm going to save Simon vs. Homo Sapiens Agenda. How can you not like this book? It's such an important and well-written story, and I love the characters, and I really want to rewatch the movie. I was going to the other day, but then I ended up rewatching Frozen because I haven't watched it in a while, and I forgot what happened in it. But yeah, I don't know why I went on that tangent. And then, ooh, both of these books are just average to me. Like, the Land of Stories series gets so much better after the first book. Trust me. If you don't want to read the rest of the series because of, like, the first book, specifically the first chapter, it gets so much better. I'm going to drop Fangirl. Controversial opinion? Probably this book is so well loved. But again, with what I was saying, I want to reread this book when I graduate or like when I'm in college, because this book deals with like being nervous to like live on your own and grow up. I guess I am kind of nervous because I'm going to boarding school and I'm going to have to grow up, live by myself. I just thought it was really well written, that the characters were pretty shallow, and that it was such a slow book. It was so slow, and so many scenes, and especially like the chapter segments of fan fiction of the story were just so unnecessary. And with this book, again, it wasn't the best written, but I'm going to give Chris Colfer a pass because it got so much better after this book. And although it was a bit slow and preachy at times, I still really enjoyed it. It was my introduction to the Land of Stories world, this series. It was a really good introduction. He did an amazing job setting up the world, setting up the characters, setting up the potential for so many more amazing stories in this world. We really got to know our characters in this book. We really got to know the world. And we also really got an exciting adventure. It was a really good introduction to the series. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Alright, so the number generator gave me Everything by Nicola Yoon, Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins, and Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger. So this is pretty hard because all of these books are just average to me. This is hard. This is hard. Right off the bat, I'm going to rewrite everything. Because, like, what was that ending? Like, what? Such a bad ending. I will never stop talking about that ending. And then, another controversial opinion between Mockingjay and Keeper of the Lost Cities. I'm going to save Keeper of the Lost Cities. Now, before you come at me, Mockingjay, I felt like it could have been a lot better. So many random things happened, and like characters were redefined, and I just thought it could have been different, and that difference would have been better, if that makes any sense. Like, I just think so many things were added to the series, so many new characters, and this entire Mockingjay thing like taking effect. I just thought so many things were added that, although it like made the series what it is, I just didn't like it. I did really like the Cute Little Cities series. I don't know if I want to continue with it. Like, every time I say I don't want to continue with the series, I always just think about it again, because like, maybe I do want to continue. Maybe it gets better. A series isn't the first book you read of it. And I did really enjoy this book. I remember really enjoying the characters and the world, so I might want to give it a reread, another try. But yeah. Or if it was a map of days, you already knew which one I was gonna save. Another Maze Runner book? I have not read that one. Piecing Me Together. This is a book I don't talk about. Alright, so The Number Generator gave me Piecing Me Together by Renee Watson, The Death Cure by James Dashner, and Library of Souls by Renton Riggs. Right off the bat, I'm going to be saving Piecing Me Together. I don't talk about this book as much as I should on my channel. It is such a good book about art, about striving to do what we can for our art, and sacrificing, and just learning about ourselves through what we make and what we create. It was a really good, well-written story. It had some amazing characters, and turning the pages feels so good. Like, I love that sound. That has nothing to do with the book, but like, so good. And the character of Maxine, don't get me started. Obviously, I'm going to be dropping The Death Cure, and then I'm going to rewrite Library of Souls, because it definitely wasn't a bad ending. It was a really, really good book, and it set up one of my favorite books of all time. I have no qualms about this book at all. It just was a little bit rushed, and I hate that the ending left things unresolved, because it was the reason that The Conference of the Birds was trash. Utter trash. Not just trash, complete trash. It was a really solid book. I just wish there was a new conflict. Alright guys, so I don't know how long this was. I never know. I always say that. I never know how long my videos are until I edit them. This could have been 5 minutes. It could have been 15 minutes. I'd never know. But anyway, if you did enjoy it, please leave it a like, comment down below if you've heard any of these books, if you enjoyed like this type of creative video. Subscribe. I post videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, although that's changing quite soon because of school starting again. Yeah, see you guys next time. Bye.